Okay. Okay. So today we'll start data security, right? So as we discussed earlier, we are dividing Salesforce security majorly in three parts practically. One is network security. That is a part of integration. So, we will discuss that in a development part. So most of you are not related to that course, so you can skip that. So other two parts are metadata security and data security. So we have already discussed what is metadata and what is data, right? Let me just explain it again. Metadata is nothing, just a structure, right? So this Salesforce org, objects, fields, applications, whatever you can see on front end, right? That is your metadata, right? And your records, your data is your data only. So data is in database tables, right? So for metadata security, we have already used profile and permission sets, right? So profile and permission set we can use for metadata security, and we can assign a profile to a user, and that particular user will only be able to access those things those are assigned by profile. One user can only have one profile, but a profile can be assigned to multiple users. Means multiple user can have same level of access. Second thing, your permission set. Permission set is nothing, just a extension of whatever the access level we have on profile. You can extend it using a permission set. Only extend, you cannot decrease the permission using a permission set. Okay, so that can be an interview question based on a scenario, but uh, just understand the basics so you can answer all questions related to it. Permission set can only extend. So if you want to decrease the permission, the new profile is the only option. As a best practice, keep as minimum profile as you can for a particular organization. So if you will join any organization, if somebody will ask you to create profile for the users, just try to keep it as minimum as you can, right? So just assess the requirement carefully, and just decide what all are the common permissions you have, and try to create a profile for all common permissions. So if you think that few permissions are different, then you can use permission set to just uh, create a profile, or just to help profile. Clear everyone? Any question till now?
Yeah.
So now we are going to discuss data security. So what is data security? Data security is nothing, just our data in a table or in an object, right? So we have lot of data in different tables. So I'm just taking an example of contact. So we all know, like, what is a contact? Contact is nothing, just a customer who is actually interacting with you, and it can be a representative of a company or account, right? So now you can see this is the data we have, right? And we all know, like, this contact object access is based on profile. So let's say we have 10 users, right? Just try to understand it carefully. If it is not clear, just let me know. So let's suppose there is a profile called ABC, and that ABC profile is assigned to 10 different users, right? What it means? It means all these 10 users will have same level of access. Clear? Now I am assigning this contact tab or contact object access to that profile. So it means all these 10 users will be able to access or create or delete or edit all the records in a contact table. Correct?
Yep.
Okay. So now the problem is, let's suppose among these 10 users, 3 are creating these contacts, right? And other 7 are creating these contacts. So my problem here is, like, I don't want to share whatever these 3 users created. I don't want to share those record with the other 7, or even for a single user data, it should not be visible to another user. Is it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. If Khyati has created a single record, Why it should be visible to Pallavi, right? Because both are working on same level, right? And it can be related to leads, some sales information or some other information, and that information can be confidential, right? So why it should be? But on metadata level, what we have is both Khyati and Pallavi both has access to this particular object, right? Clear? So we just need to keep data secure between each users. So that is called data security. By default, there is no security applied on any object. By default, everything is public. Everyone can access every record if there is a profile permission available. Clear? If there is a profile permission available. So you can note it down. First thing that will be checked is profile permission. So if there is no contact permission available on the profile, then there is no way to access the data related to contact. Clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in data security, we have multiple levels. You can basically manage data security. It is very flexible in Salesforce. So the first thing that you will use for data security is sharing settings. So if you want to note it down, you can use, let me just share my notepad. The first thing that you will use is sharing settings. It is also called as OWD. What is the full form of OWD? Is organization wide default. Just note it down. Full form of OWD is organization wide default. So the first thing that you will use for data security is sharing setting. So let's just try to implement sharing setting first and then we'll go further. Okay. So currently you can see on contact itself, whatever you have created is visible. Even let's just log in on another user. What was the username? If forget, then we can come and check here. You can copy the username from here, and password I always use test @123, so we can directly log in. This is the second user we are trying to log in. What happened? Please check your username and password if you still can't. Guys, have you noted down what was the password and what was the username? Username is correct because we have copied it from the org. Let's do just forgot password if I can get it.
Test @123.
I'm using the same, but not able to log in. Just give me a moment. I'm just resetting the password. This time I'm just using test@1234. Okay, so we are logged in with both the users. This user is the second user we have created, and this is the system admin. So for both the users, you can see all contacts are visible. See, all the records are visible to this user as well, right? All 20 contacts, and same all 20 contacts are visible to system admin as well. Clear? All 20 contacts are visible to this user, and all 20 contacts are visible to second user. So now we need to make a security by which only record creation user can only access the record in the table, right? So just what you need to do is you just need to go to setup. So as we discussed, the first level of security is sharing settings. So what you need to type here in quick find box, sharing settings. So just type sharing settings here. You can see sharing setting. Just click on sharing settings. And here you will see this is sharing setting. This page displays your organization sharing setting. These settings specify the level of access your users have to each other data, right? Don't go with this. We'll tell you what it is. Manage sharing setting for all object, or you can simply filter it based on single object as well, right? So now we have organization wide default. Same thing I told you, like OWD. This is also called as OWD. So now you can see all standard and custom object available. Technology, student, junction, engineer, course. These all are the custom object, right? And it is asking default internal access. Default internal access. So there are few types, right? So three major types are those you need to understand is public read and write, right? Second is public read only, and third one is private. Clear, everyone? So there are three type of access. We have majorly three types in sharing settings: public read write, public read only, and private, right? So what is public read write?
So those
The
users
yes,
read the data and they can edit as well.
right. So everybody in the organization can see each other data, and they can also edit if they have the profile permission, right? So public read write means no security. So whatever we have by default, like there is no security, all the records are visible to everyone for that particular object. Remember one thing, we are just assigning security based on object. So now you will assign the security object wise only. Clear? And the public read only means
it is a subset of the public read write, which is everybody can read, but nobody will have the access to do the edit apart if that's the settings that you've chosen.
yes, only record owner who created the record can edit
That's
the
correct.
record. Yeah. Okay. Good, Pallavi. Now the third one is private. Private means the maximum level of security we can apply to an object. It means only record owner can see the record, as well as he can only edit. So this is the security we should apply on every object, right? But there are few objects on which we don't need any security. So we can choose either read only or read write. Based on their security level, we need to apply. Clear? But remember this thing, private. Private means maximum security you can apply on an object. It means only record owner can see the record, can edit the record, can delete the record based on their profile permission. Clear? Clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's just apply this security and you will see the difference. So now what we were checking, contact. So guys, there is one more thing here. You can see control by parent. What we have here, control by parent. Control by parent. What is the meaning of control by parent? Can you just think what it can be? Any answer I will welcome. Any answer. What you can think of?
I mean, it might be an assumption, but again, the second type, which is controlled by parent, as in the one who is the record owner, that's the one controlled by parent. That's how this contact is. Is that how it is?
It is not like that.
Pratik, what I think is if there are changes in the parent data, in the parent object, then only changes.
You are very close, Yatin. You are very, very close. So basically, we have studied master detail relationship yesterday, right? So if you will remember, in master detail relationship, what was happening? There was one more sharing thing available. So if I will go to, let me just open a new tab. So if you will go to view fields, and if you will click on, this is very, very important. Just listen it carefully. So in master detail relationship, if you will read all the description, see the relationship field is required on all detail object. The ownership and sharing of a detailed record are determined by the master records. This line. So it means if contact has a master detail relationship, right? And on the parent object, if user is having access, right, then the child record will automatically accessible for that particular user if our sharing setting is controlled by parent. So let's say account is the master of contact, and on account what we have is public read write, and on contact we have control by parent. So on contact as well you will have public read write permission. Clear? Clear to everyone?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It is very important. Just think, like if it is controlled by parent, then there should be a master detail relationship, and the child object record will be managed by parent record access. Okay.
So
Let's
just
move
a
ahead.
little confusion, just to clear it, if you can give an example. So let's say the account is PepsiCo, that's the organization.
Right.
And there is a contact, which is, let's say, the VP Education, that's the contact.
Right.
You can explain taking that example.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I'll get it more clear.
So if the access of account record, so if you have the access of account record, right, and you are not the owner of contact record, and contact sharing setting is private, right, then you won't be able to access the contact record. But if it is controlled by parent, then doesn't matter if you own the record or not, you will have the access. Clear, Pallavi?
Okay.
I will show you shortly. So I'm just making contact as, or we can go with account first. Let's just go with account so you can simply see the difference. So in account as well, we have all the data access for both the users. Let me just show you. So these are 14 records we have on account, and these are accessible by the system admin. System admin will always have the entire data access, and this is the second user, right? So you can see the login, right? Let me just go back and click on account. You can see here all 14 records are accessible with this user as well, right? So what we have in account, what is the sharing setting on account is public read write, right? So let's just change it to private, On account, we have public read write. So you will have these three permission: public read write, public read only, and private. I'm just making it private. Just click OK. Just read whatever it is saying, but yeah, and just click on OK. And now it is coming as private. If you will click on save, then it can take a minute. Based on the data we have in that object, it can take time. So in live organization, it can take up to 1 day, right? So because it has to reset all the data security again. So now it is showing as public read write. Just try to refresh it. Then you will see after few seconds or a minute, you will see that it is becoming as private. So now it is private only. So if I will go back, it is a system admin. All the records are created by this user except this one. So let's just refresh, but it is a system admin. It has all the visibility of all the records. But if you will go back and open that another user, earlier it was having all the records. So just refresh the screen. No record access. Now there is no record available for this particular user because we have already created, already changed the sharing setting of account as private. Clear, everyone?
Prateek,
Any question till now?
Prateek, my internet I think went down, so I could not see and listen to the part where you were editing, how you edited the things.
Okay. Let me repeat.
Sure.
Is it fine now? Your
Yes.
internet is fine now? Okay.
Yes, that's fine now.
Okay. So we were discussing about sharing settings. So I think you were there when we were discussing about public read only, public read write, and private, right? So
It's
now
when you started making the changes.
okay. So in sharing setting, what we did is we clicked on edit and just change this account and contract. Just focus on account only right now. We just change it to private, right? What private means is only record owner can see the record, right? So it is a system admin user, so it has all the record availability, right? All the record access, right? So all the 14 record are accessible for this user. And now if I will go back and check with the second user, earlier it was having all the record access, but currently if I will click on all account and go, there is no access, no record access available for this account. And one important thing that we were discussing about control by parent. Now, as account is private, then contact is automatically becoming as private because we have what is the contact sharing setting? It has control by parent. Clear? So if I will go back and check the contacts on this particular user, it should also has no access, no record access, because currently there is no record owned by this particular user. So no record access. So if you remember, there were a lot of all 20 record were accessible for this user as well on contact. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
So now if I will create account as public read write, then contact records will also be available. Clear? So now only record created by this user will be available for this user only. So if I will go ahead and create an account, I'm just making it as second user so that you can remember this was created by second user only. So now this particular record is created by this user. So if you will go back and check in account table, this particular record will be available, right? But this record will also be available for this user because it is a system admin. Why we have? So just go back and remember the profile, right? So earlier there was a thing on profile that I told you, like we will discuss it when we will discuss the data sharing.
View all and modify all.
Yes, view all and modify all. So let me just show you the system administrator profile first. in system administrator profile, we have this view all and modify all permission. Guys, always remember, if there is a view all or modify all permission available, then what you will think is there will be no security applicable for that profile users. If view all is there, then they can see all the record throughout the organization. Doesn't matter whatever the security you have applied. Clear? If there is a view all permission on the profile, then there will be no security applicable for all the profile users, right? Those have assigned that profile. Similarly, for modify all, they all can edit the records. So in if I will summarize the entire thing, the first thing that you will need to check is view all and modify all permission is there. If there is a view all and modify all permission, then the user will be able to see all the records. And if it is not, then you can simply come back and check the sharing setting, and based on the sharing setting, you can decide if that particular object record is available for that user or not. You can also need to check the ownership. If that particular user is owning that record, then he or she should have the access for that particular record. Any question related to sharing setting till now? We have few parts available in sharing settings, but any question till now?
So far, so good, Pratik.
Okay. Any confusion, guys, you can ask. Repeating it again, sharing setting is the first level of thing that you can apply on a data security. So what you need to do is, there are three major types: private, public read write, and read only. The best security you can apply is private. If there is a private security applied, I mean the sharing setting is set as private for a particular object, then what will happen? Only record owner can see the record, except if somebody is having view all and modify all permission on his profile, right? So this is the summary of what all we have discussed. Okay.
Yeah.
So lead can be transferred. So there is a transfer permission available. So that is related to public read write. So you don't have to worry about it. Transfer means like, lead is your prospect customer. So if a sales rep is not available, then the ownership can be transferred to another sales rep. So if that permission is available, then he or she can transfer the record. Okay. This is what we have. Just try it at your end. Let me know for any question. Okay, let's move ahead with another security part. So now there is one more problem we have. So now only user owner is getting the access. All the accounts are accessible by record owners, right? Right, Khyati?
Yeah, right.
So now there is a problem. Let's say, Khyati, you have around 5 subordinates. So 5 users are reporting to you, and you are managing their things like their sales report, their performance, everything. And as a manager, you will need the access of their records, because you should know what is happening with your team data, right? Is it make sense?
Yes.
If you will not be able to access the record, then you will not have that information. You will always need to ask that information to the team, and that should not happen, right? You should have
Right.
all the data access. So we need to create an organization in such a way, like all the manager, even not only you, if you are reporting to a person, then that person should also have the access of your records as well as your subordinates records, right?
Right.
And it should go till the first level in the organization, like till CEO or board of directors. So that kind of problem you will face if you will only use sharing setting, because if you are applying private, then the record owner can only see the access. But as a manager, you should be able to access the record. Even your manager should also be available, or record should also be available for your manager, even till first level in the hierarchy. So there is a second thing that we need to manage, that is role hierarchy, right, in the organization, so that every person up in the hierarchy can see his or her subordinates records, right? So let me just give you an example. So in our company, what is happening, we have a CEO on top level, right? Just assume, right? And three GMs are reporting to CEO: GM sales, and then GM marketing, and GM service. Just creating a dummy hierarchy in the organization, and it is based on your company hierarchy, the actual based on the roles everyone is performing in the company, not the designation we are talking about, right? Because role is your work, not designation. Okay, so now we have few managers. Let's say three managers are reporting to uh, GM sales, M1, M2, and M3. Manager, I'm just using MS so that manager sales, right? And similarly, we have three managers related to marketing. Let's use one, MM2, let's just two. And we have service, manager one, service, just using only one. Okay, and similarly we have a few reportees for MS1, MS2, and MS3, and similarly for MM1, MM2. So this can be the hierarchy. Are you able to connect with it?
Yeah.
Everyone? Yeah.
Yes.
So this can be the hierarchy in your organization. So now what will happen? So let's say there is a sales rep, and he or she is reporting to M1, right? So it's the problem of word. Sales rep 1, right? And the manager of sales rep 1 is MS1. And there is also a sales rep. It is also reporting to MS1. Now there is one more sales rep. And now it is reporting to MS2, right? So this kind of hierarchy you have in the company, right? Okay, so now this is the hierarchy. So currently what we have applied private as sharing setting, right? We have applied private. So what is happening? Sales rep 1 can only see his record. Sales rep 2 can only see his records, right? And sales rep 3 can only see his records, right? Clear,
Yeah.
everyone?
Yep.
Even MS1, MS2, MS3, MM1, nobody can see the records created by sales rep 1, sales rep 2, and sales rep 3, right? Only record owner can see the records currently. But what should happen? MS1 should be able to see the record created by sales rep 1 and sales rep 2. Listen one thing carefully. MS1 should not be able to see the record created by sales rep 3, because sales rep 3 is not reporting to MS1. Sales rep 3 is reporting to MS2. So MS2 should only be able to see the record created by sales rep 3. right?
Yes.
Did it make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Irrespective of like MS2 is above in the hierarchy from sales rep 3, but still sales rep 3 is not reporting to MS1. So MS1 should not be able to see the record created by sales rep 3. So this kind of scenario, what you need to do, you need to create a role hierarchy in Salesforce. So whatever the role hierarchy you have logically in your organization, same role hierarchy you need to place in Salesforce. Then only you can simply manage this kind of record access in your organization, right? So if you will apply, if you will create a role hierarchy in Salesforce, then automatically what will happen, manager will be able to see the record created by his or her subordinates. Clear? So let me show you how you can do that, how you can create a role hierarchy. First, level of access, sharing settings. So anybody can ask you in interview, like, can you just manage one by one what will be the level of access you will apply on data sharing, right? So first level of access is sharing setting. Second level of access is role hierarchy. Every step is a solution of a previous problem, right? Just keep that thing in your mind. Every single topic is a problem of previous topic. So now role hierarchy is the solution of sharing setting problem, that manager and subordinate problem, right? So now you can go to role hierarchy. So for the creation of role hierarchy, just type role in the quick find box. In manage user section, you have the roles, right? You can click on roles. Now they are just giving you a dummy diagram. Let me just make it big so that you can focus it more, right? So you can see, on the top level, what we have is executive staff, CEO, president, CFO, VP, sales, or similar kind of level, right? So you can see, and just we'll read these thing later on. You can see there are 3 directors. Those are reporting to executive staff. Western sales director, Eastern sales director, international sales director, right? All 3 are reporting to executive staff. And then we have Western sales rep, Eastern sales rep, international sales rep. All 3 are reporting to each directors. So Western sales rep is reporting to Western sales director, Eastern sales rep is reporting to Eastern sales director, and international sales rep is reporting to international sales director, right? So now we'll start from the last level. So you can see view and edit data, roll up forecast and generate report only for own data. Can't access data of users above or at same level. So Western sales rep can only see the or edit the data that is created by Western sales rep only. He or she will not be able to access or see the data created by Eastern sales rep, international sales rep, and all above. Right? Clear, everyone?
Yes.
And similarly, just check on the second level, view and edit data, roll up forecast and generate report for all users directly below. So directly below. So they are using directly below means who all are reporting to them. So Western sales rep can see that Western sales director can see the record created by Western sales director as well as record on all the access Western sales rep is having. Clear, everyone? So all the record created or accessed by Western sales rep will be accessible by Western sales director. Similarly, for Eastern sales rep, all the records will be accessible by Eastern sales director. Similarly, international sales rep, excuse me, international sales director. So all the users directly below, all are directly reporting to you. Similarly, for executive sales staff, view and data edit, roll up forecast and generate report for all users below, because they are on the first level, so they can see the data for all users. Any question?
No.
Good. Let's just set up the role for, so this was the dummy just to let you understand. So now set up roles. So there are few dummy or standard roles available. So you can simply check if you will expand it. the CEO, there are few roles available. So you can skip and you can create. So you can delete all the roles by just clicking on delete, and you can create your own thing. So what we will do is, we have 2 users, right? So we can maximum create two roles, right? You can create roles, but you can only assign 2 users to 2 different roles, right? So CEO, and we'll also create one role who will report to CEO. Clear, everyone? We'll use this CEO as the first level, and we will create one more level who will report to CEO. I'm just adding add role, and I'm just creating sales rep, right? And this sales rep will report to CEO. So you just need to pass this particular role will report to which one? Opportunity and case access, you can leave it for now, right? Just hit save. Now we have created a role that is sales rep and CEO. So your organization structure is looking like this. Now we have CEO on first level, and then we have sales rep on second level. And this sales rep is reporting to CEO. So how your access will look like? CEO can see all the record created by sales rep, but sales rep can only see the record created by
Sales rep only.
sales rep only. Clear?
Yes.
Just try it. So we can simply assign users to the role. So sales rep will assign the second user, and for CEO will assign that user, the standard Salesforce user. You can simply shift it back in the selected user list and just hit save. And now we have assigned one user to sales rep. Now you can go to CEO, and you can assign one user to CEO. All users, and then use system administrator user to here. Okay, so we have assigned both the users to different thing. Now the role hierarchy will work in a similar way. So we have a system administrator, and that then another user. So you will not see any difference right now, because there are only 2 users we can create. So currently in account as well, we can only see the record created by this user, because account security is private. But you cannot assign any manager or anything with a limitation of 2 user. So you cannot test it right now, but yeah, you can assume this will work in the similar way. Okay, everyone.
Yeah.
Any question till now? Just think and ask anything that is coming in your mind. No question, guys. One thing also you need to remember when you are talking about role hierarchy. So you just need to go back to sharing settings. In the sharing settings, you can see there is a thing called grant access using hierarchy. Grant access using hierarchies. If this particular checkbox is checked, then only your managers can see the record for that particular object. Excuse me. If this particular checkbox is checked, then only your managers can see records accessible by you. However, you cannot edit it for all the standard objects. So by default, all the standard object will have grant access using hierarchies as checked. You cannot change it, but you can change it for custom objects. Let me show you. I'm just clicking on edit. You can see the changing of grant access using hierarchy is disabled for all standard object. But if you will come back and see for custom objects, you can see you can make it enable disable, right? So you can basically manage it. Any question on this one? So if you don't want this particular object access to be accessible by manager and subordinate case, then you can simply disable this checkbox, and whatever the role hierarchy you have set up, that will not be applicable for this particular object. Clear, everyone? So guys, these are the three ways to manage. There are a couple more we have. We have manual sharing, we have group sharing, we have sharing rules, right? So basically we'll discuss all these in the next part.